Hello, and welcome to another episode of Scavenger Life. This is episode number 481 at scavengerlife.com.
We just came back from doing something we have not done in probably 15 years.
Yeah.
14 years. We went camping.
Camping?
In Damascus, Virginia.
Right outside Damascus.
Yeah, and it was cool. We tented out for a night with our future partners.
Yes.
In this coffee business we're starting.
Yes.
It was cool. They have, part of their business is they do events, so they have like a cute little vintage trailer. It's a Shasta trailer.
Shasta camper.
That, if you looked at it, and she has done such a great job.
It's amazing.
Renovating it and designing it. I mean, it's totally like an Instagram thing, and when people see it, they're like, this is amazing.
So they serve coffee out of it, and it's the cutest thing ever.
Right. And so we kind of did a thing where we went with them to this event. They normally don't go this far, but they did for a friend. And just to see how it works and kind of a team building exercise.
Yeah.
It was good.
It was. I had fun.
You did really good, like doing service.
I was really nervous. Like, I'm really nervous about like taking orders.
Because you have never worked in food before.
No, I've never worked in food. Right. And, but I have, like, I grew up going to craft shows where you sit in a tent, kind of like a little trailer, and you talk to people and sell people stuff. So I feel like I automatically jumped right back into that, where I'm like, oh, it's just people ordering things, and then they pay you, and then you give it to them. It's not a big deal.
And our partners, Phil and Jill, we got to see them in action, and they're really good at making coffee and being handling rushes and all that.
Well, what I loved, I told you this morning, what I loved was people would sip their coffee or their chai latte or their hot chocolate, and they'd be like, that's good. That's actually really good. And they were like, it was so cool to see that, you know?
They're definitely into quality.
Yeah.
Which is important to us. So, what does this have to do with eBay? So, for me, it just reminds me how much money we make on eBay compared to selling cups of coffee.
Right.
So, and I think anyone that has an eBay store and maybe has never had another business, you know, we're all finding these things out in the world.
Random.
Very often they're very cheap. You know, when someone says they spend a lot on something, they spend like $10 on it, you know, and sold it for $100. But, you know, a lot of us are paying, you know, $1 to $3 and selling it for $20, $30, $50, $100.
Right.
I mean, that's incredible profit.
Yes.
Like today, we sold a plate.
It's like a platter, a Flow Blue antique platter
that we probably bought for $1. It sold for $120.
$127.
Yeah. Now that's a really good sale for us.
Yeah, that's a great sale.
But that's not uncommon. Mm-hmm. But that's how we built our eBay business. Is that, you know, we don't need to sell, you know, 100 things a day.
Right.
We can be okay with selling 4 things a day and be okay. But, you know, with coffee, and it was good. We kind of had like, after the day was done, we like went back to this Airbnb we were staying at. So
we camped out one night, and then the friends that were putting on the event had an awesome Airbnb.
It was very nice. And we kind of had like a, I don't know what you call it, where you just go through.
Like a debrief, right?
Yeah. And we looked at how much we made, and it was like, it was 5 hours of being open in this like park with people that came by. I think we served like 75 people.
Yeah, about 75 drinks.
And we made about $350. Right. Which isn't bad.
Yeah.
But the issue is like, you know, each cup of coffee is between like $3 and $6. Like, that's it. Like, people can't spend more.
There's not a $100 item on our menu.
Like, if someone wants to come and spend $100, they cannot spend $100 at this place unless they bought coffee for everybody in the place.
Exactly.
You know? And that's so different from what we do, where we just list.
Right.
And the whole point is to have like search terms on the internet of all these items and to try and get stuff that is worth a lot of money and weight.
Yeah.
So for us, it's making me think about this business. You know, I've got to get my head into like, this is it's like a volume business.
Yeah, it's volume.
And or figuring out what to sell where we can, instead of the average per person was like $4 or $5.
Right.
How do you make the average $15?
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
Because I'll go into a coffee shop and I'll spend $15. Like, I'm the thriftiest person in the world. Put me in a coffee shop, I'll order double shot drink
this morning on the way home
with like a delicious pastry. Like, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
You know? And so we were just talking about, like, you know, it is just like an eBay business. It's a numbers game.
Right.
You know? We can serve the best coffee in the world, but, you know, when your profit per person, and this is gross profit, is $4 or $5, you would have to have like a New York volume of people to really have a successful business.
Yeah.
You know? So I think, like, at the shop we're opening here, that's why we've really been talking about food.
Yeah.
And
not massive, like, you know, having a restaurant, but it's like cafe style food.
Yeah. I think
light fare.
I think anyone hearing this knows exactly what we're talking about. You walk in, you want like a sandwich, and not like you sit down at a table and a waiter comes to you. You're just like, you know,
you're trying to grab
snack.
it. Yeah.
Already pre-made, or order it, and then I call you and you come and get it.
Yep.
You know.
Look, that's Starbucks.
$7, right?
That's what we stopped at 2 Starbucks on the way home, and you know that's the deal,
right? And you know, and so in my mind, if you can get 50 people in a day, and they're spending, let's say, $15, I mean, you're making $750 a day gross.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah,
for around where we are, and
right?
50 people is not unheard of,
right?
You know? But anyway, that's
Yeah.
Kind of what I'm thinking.
Well, it's interesting because we sold that platter on the way home, you know, right after we had done those numbers last night. And it's just, you're like, I just made $130.
Right.
In like 1 minute.
We would have to, like, the most expensive drink we were serving was $6.
Yeah. And if you got an extra shot, it was $1.
So it would be $7. So the most money a person could give us would be $7.
Right.
You would have to sell... I always need a calculator. Okay,
doing the math.
You know, you'd have to sell 17 of those drinks to make as much as that one platter we sold.
Yeah.
You know, so it is a volume game or trying to up the per person.
Yeah.
This brings another thing.
Yeah.
You know, I've been hearing podcasts. I've been trying to find people talking about opening coffee businesses.
Right. And there are podcasts about that.
And some
there
of them are like
a few.
Super nerdy. They're talking about, you know, taste profiles. Mm-hmm. And then there's like the more like super businessy, like, you know, kind of like you got to read business leadership books. And so, you know, it's like I'll listen to anything. But one guy today said, you know, you got to be careful about just because you're successful in one business,
right? You
can't automatically assume you're going to be successul
in another business
because things are different,
right?
And you know, I know that.
Yeah,
that's not like some new revelatory thing to us, but you know, it is something I have to keep in mind. Like, just because we've been good at eBay, doesn't mean that we know how to run a coffee shop.
Yeah.
But that's one reason why we're partnering with people that know
how to run a coffee shop and are interested in expanding and doing things like doing food or doing, you know, event nights or whatever.
But I think that's where maybe we do bring, you know, what we're bringing to the table is resources and a building. But also I think we're bringing, I'm hoping, you know, the ability to think about numbers and to think about, like, again, it is a numbers game.
Yeah.
It does not matter how good that cup of coffee is.
It's a numbers game.
If we can't sell enough of it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know. And we did have an eBay business, and we started some vacation rentals, and that's a different business, but we were okay with that. But because we talked about exactly what we're talking about, we had to understand, like, what's the difference between running vacation and rentals versus eBay? And there are differences, and we figured those out.
But there are similarities, too.
Yeah.
So we bought a house, so that's a huge risk, you know, in a vacation rental. But we started out, and we were like, oh, this is working. Great, let's keep doing it.
And I guess I just bring that up just so if anyone out there is hearing this, people do different things in their life. I mean, like, selling things on eBay is cool. It's real fun.
Yeah.
But I think it can also get you ready to do other things too, you know.
But it also, like, you know, because someone asked us, I think it was last week, when do you think you'll end doing eBay? And like we said, you know, I found that platter for $1. I have a helper that helps me do it. And you're kind of like, why would I stop that business?
Right.
You know?
Right. I mean, we talked about it. Like, we're not like retire on the beach kind of people. Or at least, real quick, I say I'm not.
I'm not either.
Are you a retire on the beach person?
No.
Okay.
I think you know that. I think you know that.
I just want to make sure people aren't thinking like, oh, Ryan just wants to go
Ryan's just going
to
to
the
lunch.
beach, you know?
No.
Yeah.
No.
We talk about it all the time.
We talk about it all the time.
Like,
I mean, look, it's like when people are like, oh, I want to retire. You know, sure, retire. That's like a whole other podcast. But, you know, it's more like I want to still make money at my businesses and have most of the responsibility of getting those things done on an employee. Right. Like, to me, that's retirement.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, you're doing it, I'm checking it, it's making money, you're getting paid, I'm getting paid. Right. We're all good.
But the business is still happening.
Yeah, it's still happening. I'm not like, oh, I'm done with that. I mean, sure, eventually, like when I'm 80 or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, for now, it's great.
Yeah. So anyway, that's it was a good weekend.
It was a great weekend.
We have a lot more to learn and a lot more to get my head around. But the whole point is just, I guess it doesn't matter what business it is. There is no changing the principles. The tyranny of the numbers. Like, the numbers have to work.
Like any business that is there to make money, the purpose of the business, which is like basically every business.
Right. You know,
that's it.
Right. There are fixed costs, and then there's a way to make profit. And if you can't get those two, it does not. Nothing else matters.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's talk about eBay this week.
Capitalism.
eBay was okay. Again, it seems like it's just been really steady.
Yeah.
We've had a couple slowish days, but it's been
when you say steady, you mean it averages out. Like there are some days, like whatever, you looked at the sales this weekend and you're like, do we really?
For instance, so this week we sold 43 items.
Yeah.
For about $1,500.
Great.
$1,501.94.
Love it.
It's great. However, we had unpaid, and this I did not include, $231. I mean, that's a significant amount.
Yeah.
And I do say I accidentally bought that thing, so I was like one of these people that like buy something and then don't pay it.
Yeah.
But like, you know, it was 4 people who bought things in this week who bought it and just did not pay. One person said, oh, I just bid on it. I thought I was just bidding on it. I didn't want to buy it. I was just bidding on it.
Yeah, which, look, like, this person sent us like 25 messages already, and you're like, cool.
One person bought like a tea set and was like, oh, shipping's more than I want to pay. And then they just said...
You saw what I wrote to them, right?
No, she said...
They're in Australia, and they're like, boy, that shipping's really high. I'm like, okay, let's break this down. It's a 6-piece set, which is cups and saucers. So that's actually 12 pieces of porcelain, fine porcelain, that has to be packed and then shipped across the entire planet on the other side of the planet. And it's like $35 to ship it. I'm like, that's actually a great deal.
Like individually wrapped and bubble wrapped and
it's fully insured and fully tracked, and you already prepay the customs. And they were like, yeah, I don't think so.
And then 2 other people that just, you know, bought things and just didn't just silence. So anyway, it's a pain in the butt. I don't understand why.
It stinks.
I don't understand why it happens.
It's such a letdown. That's what it is. You're like, oh, I love that sale.
Yeah, I mean, one's $100 sale, a $50
sale,
$50 sale.
No,
yeah,
it sucks.
But that's the way it is.
That's just the way of the world of eBay.
And things we sold, just super random stuff. Just, you know, clothes. Strangely, we don't really put up a lot of clothes.
Look,
but we
I sold clothes that I was modeling. I'm like, what year was that from? 2012.
And I was in... one of those things too.
Like a jacket.
But it sells, you know, hats. We sold a swatch.
I sold a swatch. Okay.
Swatch.
Are swatches from France? I think they are. It was someone in Paris.
I don't know. I just know
bought it.
swatches. When I was a kid,
Yeah.
in the 80s,
Yeah.
Swatch was the hottest
thing in the world.
Always,
I did.
My family would not buy
We
me one.
wouldn't. My mom's like, I'm in second grade. She's like, what do you need a watch for?
Right.
I'm like, I want a swatch.
Like, you know, whatever. Back then it was probably like $20, which was a lot of money. So.
Well, I sold it for $100.
Yeah.
That's a great sale.
Yeah, but
love it.
Yeah. Shoes, just all kinds of stuff. We were eating dinner with a group of people last night.
Oh, this is so funny.
Our partners included in the hosts of the thing, and I don't know, it came. Oh yeah, we were eating, and the people who we were staying with, they had bought this house. It was like a B&B.
Yeah.
And I noticed the silverware was
Canoe muffin.
Yeah, and like a vintage, and I was like, "Where'd you get this?" And she's like, "Oh, it was already
came
here.
with the house,
It came
yeah.
with the house." And I was like, "These are called canoe muffin," and she was like, "What?"
The whole table, there's like 9 people sitting there.
And
They go,
everyone, like, looked at me
They go
like,
like this. How in the world do you know that information?
And I said, these are actually pretty valuable. I mean, they were interspersed.
Interpure or whatever.
So they weren't like real wood.
They weren't ecto or echo.
right.
Echo.
It wasn't like real teak, but you know, they're valuable.
Echo's not real teak either.
It's not. Anyway.
Just FYI.
So I was explaining to them, and then and our partners know we sell on eBay, and then someone asked about eBay.
They're like,
and
what
I just did I do the whole spiel I always do. I was like, we are living in a time when baby boomers are dying, or
The abundance of waste in America.
They have multiple homes and multiple storage places, and all this stuff is getting flooded onto the market, and you can go and just get boxes and boxes of stuff at no money.
You're like, hashtag scavenger life.
Then you can sell it for a lot of money. And, you know, like this is...
And everyone's like this, huh?
Everyone's like, huh. Anyway.
And then they changed the subject, and we were like, okay, we're going to go pet the dog.
And the way I say it, like I want to, like, fire's coming out of my fingertips. Like, it's
like,
amazing.
You must understand that we
Like,
sell garbage for $100.
I want everyone to get up and be like, let's go get stuff now.
Let's go look in people's trash.
Let's list this silverware right
Today.
now on eBay.
They're like, we actually need it to feed our children.
And I just sound like a nut. I was thinking, I actually did one of my size driving today. I think you were sleeping.
I was asleep.
Because I was thinking of that moment.
You're like,
I was like, oh, people probably thought I was crazy.
oh, really? I didn't think that at all. Because then we started from that, like, it segued into just like a super political conversation about recycling.
Right.
So I don't think, like, you basically sparked that conversation.
Good.
And then we were like, okay, bye. We're going to go look at, they had like 8 cats.
Yeah. Oh,
They were so cute.
Yeah. Scavenge of the week. We did not buy anything.
We didn't scavenge.
Yesterday, I drove into town to get more milk for the
for the camper.
coffees.
Yeah, the trailer.
And I guess they were having like a yard sale day.
Oh,
yard sales everywhere.
Oh my God! You're like, I gotta get back to this event, but I
wanted
really
to
want
stop,
to shop.
and then last night I had a dream about scavenging. Where I don't know where we were. We were in some city, and I remember I was finding boxes of new shoes on the street.
Oh my God, this is your dream.
And I was like, okay, here's 1, 2, okay, I'm okay.
Yeah,
and then I was
yeah.
like, there's so many. I was like, how do I get all of these?
The abundance
and take them home.
of waste.
It's just,
I had dreams about serving coffee. I think we all know why.
Yeah. Customer issues, we talked about that. Just
Unpaid item.
Yeah.
I had a couple things break, which sucks because I ship a lot of delicate stuff. But one of them was global shipping. I turned everything back to global shipping, so that got taken care of, thank goodness. It was just 1 out of like 6 cups, which is a bummer, but still.
We had an item where the person hadn't gotten it yet, and she had opened up a case, and
and it got delivered.
And it finally got
God.
delivered. Yeah.
It took like 20 days to get to Brooklyn.
And we followed like what a lot of us are saying on the forum, where it's all about, like, technically the buyer can say, I'm done, I just want my money, go for it. But you have to kind of deal with it and like give them a little bit of information, say please wait a little bit, you know, you have to like string them along.
Here's the thing with this customer though that was peculiar in particular. The tracking said that they asked for it to be on hold, and then when the post office tried to redeliver, they like weren't home. This is in Brooklyn, so it must be an apartment. So it was like notice left a bunch of times. So I'm like, this person's actually not picking this up. It's not me. It's them. Like they're away for a couple weeks.
Gotcha.
So finally, I think they were like, oh, I got to go pick this up. And then they picked it up, and then the case closed. Good. They're like, we see that this got delivered. Right. So that was kind of great.
I just know other sellers were talking about that, about how, you know, they're having buyers like, where's my stuff?
Yeah, I know.
And everyone just saying, yeah, you got to tell them it's coming.
It's like, look at the tracking.
Some people were sharing their spiels that they sent to people about problems with the post office and just trying to like, because each day that you can get them to wait is another day that it could get delivered.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, pandemic and election voting by mail is probably crushing the post office.
Also, some people were saying that if
it's not helping,
and I don't know about this, can you like force it to get looked for, or you can claim it lost or something? And someone was saying they think that kind of
it does nothing. Like that is, look, people, listen to me.
How do you know?
I just know it does nothing because there are so many times that I've been like, this is lost, please look for it, check it out.
I'm currently checking it out.
Check it out right now. So say like 2 weeks go by and it actually gets delivered, you know, because I'll do an email alert where I'm like, tell me when this moves again, and it'll move again and get delivered. And then 2 weeks later, I'll get an alert from the missing claim, and they're like, we still can't find this. I'm like, did you check the tracking, USPS? It got delivered. Like, it's just, the lost mail claim to me is basically a joke. I don't think it's ever worked. I don't think it's ever... Yeah, no.
911 is a joke.
That has nothing to do with the post office.
I know.
Okay,
it's a song.
Moving on.
Yeah. I will say that we are juggling a lot of things.
Yeah.
But I think we're doing a good job, and I see the end of this coffee shop, like the end of the like getting it started.
Yeah.
Like, this weekend was good.
The end of the beginning.
The end of the beginning.
Yeah.
The coffee shop itself is almost done.
It's almost done.
Yeah. I mean, not almost like tomorrow, but like almost in the next couple months. Yeah. It really looks good.
Couple months.
Yeah.
It should be sooner than that.
Yeah. I mean, and we'll share photos, and it's just fun, and I'm enjoying this. You know?
Yeah.
You know,
but this phase will end.
Yeah. And everything we've ever done, there's always those phases where you're just like, oh my God, this is like forever. But you know what? It's always finite. Forever. I'm all about lists. Oh yeah, this is the thing I want to talk about. This is my like, I'm a business guru kind of thing. Mm-hmm. The funnel. That is my mindset. You know.
Yep.
I know other people just have like blueprints and like architectural drawings. Forget all that. Get that out of there.
Yeah.
Or they have like budgets. Forget it. That's for amateurs. You just need the funnel.
Okay.
Which to me is just like a list.
Yeah. And like, it gets smaller.
We start things where we put everything on the list. Everything we want. And then over time you start hammering away at it, and it gets smaller and smaller. And you can add some things.
Yeah.
And then it gets smaller and smaller, and then eventually the list is just done. And you're done.
Let me tell you this. We had the list before the pandemic. We have this little whiteboard in our kitchen. Yeah. And it had the list of all the things that have to get done in the coffee shop. Major things. Yeah. HVAC, drywall, like to build the coffee bar. I mean, these are things that like cost a ton of money and are like insane.
It takes like 2 months.
Yeah, you're just like, this is crazy. We erased that list.
That list
last week. Right. I looked at the list and I was like, we did that. We did that. I'm going to erase this because these are all done. I couldn't believe it.
Right. The thing I have now is just like caulk the trim. And,
like it's really,
you know,
it's stuff that has to get done and it's important, but it's more like a couple hours of work.
And the reason why I like this versus just like have architecture drawings and like a budget is that those are like two fixed
Yeah.
And 2, like, that's it. Like, you just do that.
This.
For us, I like my funnel because it's organic. Because it changes.
Organic.
We add things, we take things away.
But it's not organic without a plan.
Right. No, I mean, it's a plan.
You know what I mean?
But, like, the way things look.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to know in January that in December, in a year, we're going to paint the trim red.
This color, yeah.
That's not what we're going to paint it. But, like, I don't really care about what we're going to paint the trim until we get to it. Right. And then we kind of figure it out. Yeah. Because it kind of informs. I listen to the room, Ryan.
Yes, you do. Sometimes. Well, now we have another list on the whiteboard for the rest of the building.
Yeah, we're doing the downstairs too.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to the phone calls that people sent in this week.
Okay, you can send us an audio file via email. Our email is thescavengerlife@gmail.com. Or you can call our voicemail line. The phone number is 540-407-8486.
Hi, Jay and Ryan. It's Jo from Adelaide, Australia. I'm a huge fan of the podcast. I, as you suggest, listen to you while I'm listing and packing all my orders for collection by Australia Post. And before I ask my question, Ryan, I'm your Australian equivalent. My birthday is June 1979. And I have left my job as a lawyer and I now sell full-time online on eBay and have my own plant business where I ship plants all over Australia, bare-rooted, and my life has never been better. And Ryan, I hear you about the Sunday night dread. That was my life for 15 years. And 3 years ago, we turned that on its head. We've paid off all our credit card debt. My husband and I rent a home with our 3 children, and life has never been better. We're looking to buy a more affordable home in the future, but for now, life is a dream for us. Guys, just turning to my quick question, I wonder if you have this problem or if it's something specific to Australia only. Because of our small population, Australia only has about 25 to 30 million people. I often find in doing research to list items that sell similar comes up for the US or the UK. And when I go to click on sell similar for the UK or the US listing, it takes me straight away to the UK eBay or the US eBay, and that's not going to work, I don't think, if I'm looking to sell within Australia only, which is what I really want to do. Is there any way around that? I want to sell similar, use all the data from the UK or the US listing, but have it listed on Australian eBay, which is ebay.com.au. Hoping you might have a solution. Thanks, guys. Amazing work. Your podcast is something I look forward to every week, and I hope you have a great week. Bye.
That's so cool. We love to hear that. Like, I swear we do not plant these calls. That's so cool.
We have the same birthday.
Yeah.
Like, literally the same. We were born on the same day.
Right. You guys both took your first breath.
Although she's in Australia, so she was definitely probably born before me.
But I love to hear that, yeah. And, it's funny that these stories always are about, like, first we paid off our credit card debt. I think that's really the big thing is just
that's
like,
huge.
Before any of us can start any of this, you just got to just get that credit card debt done. And then then it really affords you a lot of choices after that.
Yeah, I love hearing that. In terms of your question, I don't know the answer. Me as a lister, I never do sell similar just because I have such weird
So can
items.
you reiterate the question or say it again? Like,
yeah, so she's in Australia and she'll see a similar item like in the UK.
Right.
She's like, well, I want to sell similar, but not on ebay.co.uk.
Right.
I want to sell it on Australia, .au.
They don't just... I think that's more just so like an weird eBay. I mean, it's just kind of like... It's just a coding thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Now, do you ever do sell similar?
I just said that. No,
No.
I don't. I never do. He's totally not listening to me.
I listen to you so much.
Oh my God. So much that it all sounds the same.
There's so much to listen to.
Yeah. So no, because what we're doing is we're like, we have 20 things that are the most random things on earth. And here's 20 drafts and I'm not just like, oh, there's a video game and I have the same one, sell similar. Like,
Gotcha.
well, I never have a reason to use that. But even if you have unique items, you might find a Pyrex bowl and you're like, well, they have the same one, so I'll just sell that. That's a vintage
So
item.
people, I know this is going to be a dumb question. So people, when they sell similar, they're not keeping the person's photos.
I don't think so.
They're
it's not a dumb question because we don't use that technology, so we don't really know the answer. I'm sure there's someone on the forum who uses it frequently.
Because it just feels like you'd have to change so much to make it your own that what's the point of selling similar? Like just copy and paste a title maybe, but other than that,
well, it's the item specifics, I'm assuming, but I actually honestly don't know unless you have like a book that has an ISBN number or a video game or something like that, or something that's new that has a UPC code. Right. That's all I can think of.
But for like a vintagey stuff, it just seems like it's
it's like easier. It's almost like a different item.
Yeah.
I will sometimes copy someone's title if I have a commodity item, and then I'll modify it to fit how I would write a title, but the main keywords I'll just like grab a title and then I did that today with like a Tommy Hilfiger like suit jacket. I was like, oh, someone has the same one. I'll go in and change the size and the wording a little bit. But.
So her thing is she sees an item, but it's on like the England eBay, and she wants to sell similar, but when she does that, it wants to keep it on the England website.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we'll sell this in the UK, and she's in Australia.
I just think the answer is it's just not going to happen. I don't know how.
Either that or call eBay and be like, is there a setting?
They're not going to know.
Why? Why wouldn't they know? It's their website.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I totally cannot believe I just said that. Yeah. Well, thanks for the call. That was a really sweet call.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Gordon Hayward from Boston, Mass. I had an issue I've been running into, and I actually just called eBay and they said they had other cases. It's super annoying. If you start, I'm finding this, if you start multiple listings on your computer as drafts, as a buy it now with the best offer, you save the drafts, you finish the draft on your phone, take the pictures, and then you submit the listing. If you go back in the listing and check, the best offer goes away. It's still a buy it now, but it's just a buy it now. There's no best offer. They said it was reported sometime last week. It's just really annoying. There's no rhyme or reason. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it doesn't. More often than time, it removes the best offer for whatever reason. It's some weird eBay glitch. But I just want to let everyone know that. Make sure if you're doing that, right now with the best offer, I'm going back and checking the listings that the best offers are on there. If you're doing, I've only seen it with the when you create multiple listings at a time. All right, thanks. Keep up the great work. Bye.
Okay, so your audio quality was a little bit poor, but I think I heard what you were saying, that if you do a draft on your computer and then you go and you take photos and fill in some of the information with your phone and then go back to list it, buy it now with make offer, like the make offer checkbox is changed. I never noticed that because I just make sure it's checked or unchecked while I'm listing on the computer. Like my helper is just like going through. He never says best offer. I just check it if I want it to be best offer or not. So I haven't noticed that glitch. I have been listing this weekend while we were driving. So I don't know. That is annoying. It's just something you got to double check, right? It's like when the gallery picture is clicked, the gallery picture button, and it's an extra $1 per listing.
Yeah, no, when I would list, that would get me sometimes where, they have that like, put it in big,
oh my God,
bigger picture.
There's like, some things where it's like $6
automatically,
and you're
checked.
Like, who in the hell would do that?
And there was a time when we realized that we'd been paying like $18 extra a month for like 6 months. Like I hadn't even seen.
Well, anytime you notice that, you call eBay and you're like, I want this credited. That's a mistake and it shouldn't be checked. And
so I've heard of other people say the same thing, especially if they're trying to list just on their phone. Like that has its quirks.
Yeah,
or then if they
quirky.
Try and start on their phone and then they get to go to their computer, and it's just, unfortunately, that's just kind of the quirks of eBay. But eBay has a thing called like give us feedback or something, like on different pages.
Somewhere.
Like, I know.
Where is it?
Yeah, and I don't know. That's all you can do.
We think they read it.
I mean, that's all
Yeah.
you can do. I mean, if they're a company that wants to stay in business, they need to hear that stuff. But I think it's good to send in that info instead of just complaining to each other, because they're definitely not pulling information like from this podcast or, when
Yeah.
we argue about it on the forum,
Yeah.
Is that it?
That's it for the calls.
Okay, thanks for being with us today. We hope we were able to help you do some work and list.
So, I will put a little pitch in for Broad Porch Coffee.
Go.
Broadporch.coffee.
Yeah.
That coffee that you're ordering is roasted by Phil and me.
Right.
I am like packing, I am roasting, and I am packing that coffee.
I was working on the building the other day, and it's a block away where we have the other building where you guys roast, and I walked over there, and you guys are blasting like music.
Yep.
And you're like packing coffee bags, and Phil's like doing the
roasting.
And it was like full on production mode.
Well, it's so funny because Jay's always like, when you guys are in production mode eventually, and we both looked at him and we're like, we're in, what are we doing right now? We're like roasting and packing and like shipping coffee.
We have the capacity to roast 100,000 pounds a year.
But we need people to order that much.
But so I'm just going to throw it out there. If there's someone out there that actually wants to buy wholesale, like have a regular account and buy, quite a bit of coffee on a regular basis.
Right.
We do have wholesale prices.
Yep.
We would love to work with you.
Yep.
Delicious coffee.
I'm loving roasting.
Tell me your coffees. Burundi,
Ethiopian, Costa Rican. We have 2 blends. We have an espresso sort of dark blend, and then we have a dark house blend. We have Brazil. We have Colombian. So we have lots of single origins that have their own flavors. We have 2 blends right now. The newest coffee we have is Burundi, and it's amazing.
Yep.
That's it. Have a good week.
That's it. Have a good week.
This podcast is ending in 3, 2, 1. Bye.